Rising over the Detroit River, the Gordie Howe International Bridge is more than just a feat of engineering. It's a bold statement of connection, linking two nations with a shared history and a vision for the future. As the sun glints off its steel cables, the bridge stands as a testament to decades of cooperation and mutual ambition. The Gordie Howe International Bridge is a symbol of unity and economic vitality between the U.S. and Canada. Every day, thousands of vehicles and millions of dollars in goods cross this border, fueling industries, supporting families, and strengthening the bond between neighbors. But today, this bridge finds itself at the center of a growing storm. Former President Trump's renewed threats of steep tariffs have cast a long shadow over this critical infrastructure, raising fears of a new era of economic uncertainty. The proposed 35% tariff could disrupt billions in daily trade, threatening not only the flow of goods, but also the livelihoods of countless workers and businesses on both sides of the border. The stakes are high, and the consequences could ripple far beyond Detroit and Windsor. This dispute isn't just about economics, it's about national identity, trust, and the future of global trade. For many, the bridge represents hope, a promise that cooperation can overcome conflict, and that shared prosperity is possible. Around the world, eyes are fixed on this border. International journalists and analysts debate whether this partnership, tested by politics and policy, can withstand the mounting pressure and uncertainty. The bridge, designed to secure future relations and foster growth, now stands as a powerful symbol of what's at stake. Its unfinished span mirrors the uncertainty facing both nations. Will it continue to connect two partners, or will it become a monument to strained friendship and missed opportunities? The answer remains uncertain. For those living in border communities, the outcome of this dispute is deeply personal. Small business owners, workers, and families all wait anxiously, knowing their futures hang in the balance. As tensions rise and the world watches, one question remains: will cooperation and shared purpose prevail over conflict and division, or will the bridge's promise be lost to the brewing storm? The U.S.-Canada relationship is often celebrated as a model of international cooperation, a partnership that has endured for centuries. From the earliest days of their shared border, these two nations have worked together, building a foundation of trust and mutual respect that has shaped North America. This bond is deeply rooted in shared culture, language, and values, as well as strong economic ties. Millions of people cross the border every year for work, tourism, and family, making the connection between the two countries personal as well as political. Trade agreements like NAFTA have played a crucial role, eliminating tariffs and creating one of the world's largest free trade zones. This has allowed goods, services, and people to move more freely, fueling economic growth on both sides of the border. Yet, even the closest allies face challenges. Trade disputes have repeatedly tested this alliance, with disagreements over lumber, dairy, and other key industries sparking protests and heated negotiations. The Trump administration's confrontational style marked a significant shift in tone, using tariffs as a primary negotiation tool and upending decades of diplomatic tradition. The 2018 tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum shocked many, sending ripples through both economies and marking a downturn in relations that caught businesses and workers off guard. This history of cooperation and conflict sets the stage for the current standoff, which is just the latest chapter in a long pattern of economic nationalism and shifting priorities. While NAFTA has now been replaced by the USMCA, the new agreement has not erased all the underlying tensions. Many of the same issues continue to resurface, reminding both countries that old disputes can cast long shadows. The legacy of past disputes hangs over current negotiations, shaping the strategies and expectations of both sides, and altering the dynamic between these old friends as they navigate an uncertain future. The current tariff threats are not happening in a vacuum. They are part of a broader global strategy, as both countries seek to protect their interests in an increasingly competitive and unpredictable world. Former President Trump's proposal for a sweeping 35% tariff on Canadian goods marks a bold and unprecedented escalation in North American trade relations. This is not just another policy announcement. It's a move that could fundamentally reshape the economic landscape between two of the world's closest trading partners. This blanket tax would impact virtually every product Canada exports to the United States, from lumber and automobiles to agricultural goods and consumer electronics. The uncertainty it creates is rippling through both economies, leaving businesses and workers on both sides of the border anxious about the future. Officially, the stated reasons for the tariff include curbing the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. and addressing the persistent trade deficit with Canada. However, many experts and critics question whether these justifications hold up under scrutiny, suggesting that the move may be more about political leverage than genuine economic or security concerns. The sheer scale and suddenness of the proposal have sent shockwaves through the business community. Companies are now facing the daunting prospect of having to completely rethink their business models, supply chains, and pricing strategies almost overnight. Many firms are scrambling to assess their exposure, running scenario analyses and consulting with trade experts to understand how deeply they could be affected. The potential for widespread disruption is real, and the stakes are high. The timing of this proposal is especially critical, as both countries are gearing up for a major review of the USMCA trade agreement in 2026. Any major changes now could complicate those negotiations and set the stage for a contentious review process. Many analysts see the tariff threat as a strategic move, designed to extract concessions from Canada ahead of these crucial talks. It's a high-stakes gambit that could either force a new deal or backfire, leading to greater tensions. For American consumers, a 35% tariff would function as a massive new tax, driving up the prices of everyday goods. From groceries to cars, the cost of living could rise sharply, putting additional strain on household budgets. In response, Canada could impose retaliatory tariffs of its own, potentially triggering a damaging cycle of escalation that would hurt businesses and consumers in both countries. Even the threat of such a sweeping tariff is already having a chilling effect on investment. Companies are pausing major decisions, delaying projects, and holding off on hiring as they wait to see how this high-stakes trade drama unfolds. For Michigan, the tariff threat is an existential economic threat. The state's economy is deeply intertwined with Canada's, particularly Ontario. A 35% tariff would devastate Michigan's manufacturing sector, especially the auto industry. Economic analysts project significant job losses, affecting real people and families. The big three automakers rely on cross-border supply chains, which would be shattered by the tariff. Michigan's leaders are urging the federal government to work with Canada, not against them. The proposed tariffs highlight the vulnerability of a regional economy dependent on cross-border integration. Michigan finds itself caught in the crossfire of a national trade strategy that threatens its prosperity. Canada is responding to the economic threat with firmness and strategic recalibration. Prime Minister Mark Carney has vowed not to bow to pressure, preparing for a fight. Canada is drawing up retaliatory tariffs targeting U.S. products to maximize political pressure. The country is accelerating trade diversification, pursuing stronger ties with other economic blocs. The tariff threats have stirred national unity and defiance in Canada. Canadian leaders reject the notion of becoming a U.S. state, emphasizing their independence. The standoff forces Canada to rethink its relationship with the U.S., adapting to a new reality. The crisis is about defining new rules of engagement, valuing friendship, but not sacrificing sovereignty. Canada is signaling its commitment to economic sovereignty and national pride. The Gordie Howe International Bridge stands at the heart of the U.S.-Canada trade dispute. This project, financed by Canada, was meant to solve trade flow issues between Detroit and Windsor. The tariff threat jeopardizes the collaboration and increases costs, potentially delaying the project. The bridge symbolizes the future of the trade relationship under fire. Canadian officials feel aggrieved, having shouldered the financial burden of the project. The bridge is a metaphor for the U.S.-Canada relationship, representing cooperation and partnership. The tariff threats oppose this philosophy, promoting short-term transactionalism. The fate of the bridge and the trade relationship are inextricably linked. A 35% tariff would ripple through the economy, affecting daily lives. Jobs in manufacturing, logistics, and agriculture are at risk, threatening livelihoods. Consumers would face higher prices on goods like vehicles, lumber, and food products. The tariffs could function as a broad-based tax on the American public, fueling inflation. The disruption would create chaos within North American supply chains, making them unworkable. Companies might move production out of North America, destroying business relationships. The dispute carries social and political implications, eroding the sense of shared community. A trade war fosters resentment and damages goodwill built over decades. The erosion of trust is a damaging consequence that could take a generation to repair. Economists and trade experts warn of overwhelmingly negative outcomes from the tariff threat. A 35% tariff would likely push both economies toward a recession. The broader damage from retaliatory measures would outweigh any isolated benefits. The tariff threat is seen as a negotiating tactic to force concessions. The risk is an escalating conflict that no one wants or knows how to stop. The frequent use of tariff threats undermines the U.S.'s reputation as a reliable trading partner. Companies may diversify away from the American market, affecting future investment. Experts outline scenarios from compromise to damaging cycles of escalation. The path forward is fraught with risk, with the world watching closely. The U.S.-Canada trade dispute brings North America to a critical crossroads. The Gordie Howe Bridge symbolizes a future of partnership and prosperity. The tariff threat represents a path of division and economic conflict. Decisions made now will have long-lasting consequences. The proposed tariff threatens a vital trade relationship and integrated supply chains. The stakes are too high for the dispute to be taken lightly. This is a story that concerns every citizen, affecting the economy and cost of goods. Cooperation and mutual respect are needed to strengthen this vital partnership. The future of North American trade hangs in the balance, with the world watching.